This is a 1 in a trillion moment. But you know those super rare moments in the F1 world that make your jaw drop? Like when something so unbelievable happens that it's like a 1 in a trillion chance. Like the time when an F1 driver won a race without even finishing it? Well, here's a bunch of those moments all crammed into one crazy video. So, what are you waiting for? Let's get started. But we're gonna start off with this F1 driver because he got hit by the safety car in this ridiculous manner. Well, here's a surprise twist, but hold on tight because the unexpected moment at the Italian Grand Prix was like nothing anyone could have ever imagined. And guess what? It seems like there was a way this wild moment could have been prevented. This Alfa Romeo driver was having a normal practice session when suddenly this happened. Guess what? The crash we saw earlier wasn't just his bad luck. It happened because of a problem with the fancy DRS system. And guess what else? There's more craziness coming up. There's this wild decision by a team that totally messed up an F1 driver's career. But before we get to that, you won't believe what this silly person was up to right in the middle of an F1 race. Imagine how stupid you must be to do something like this. This doesn't happen every day. Meanwhile, check out the craziness that this F1 car driver was creating in a casino. And we'll come back to it. By the way that this driver won a race was absolutely legendary. It was the British Grand Prix and this driver was, of course, in the lead. But with just 3 laps to go, this happened. He received this stop-go penalty for passing this other driver behind the safety car. Things were looking bad for this guy as it was clear that he would lose his P1 position as a result of this. That, however, did not occur, because what this driver ended up doing was simply brilliant. That is amazing. But you know what else is awesome? When these two drivers had a silly water fight. Man, imagine the current grid doing this. Let's take a look at this driver. On turn 1, this guy's car decided to do some crazy spins, giving the trackside wall a not-so-friendly high five. However, guess what? The drama did not end there. Other racers couldn't help themselves and crashed into it as well, as if they were playing bumper cars. Are you kidding me? 13 cars got caught in this epic mess, resulting in a real-life F1 pileup for the ages. But this wasn't the most shocking thing that happened that weekend. Things started to become normal after the restart. This driver took the lead and started making a commanding gap from others. He went so ahead that he was about to lap the other driver, but just when he was about to do so, this happened. I don't know about you, but I've never seen him so furious before. It's no surprise that Verstappen resembles him. What are your thoughts? Is this driver comparable to the other one? Both are without a doubt extremely talented. And before we show you how this driver won the losing race in the UK, take a look at this brutal crash in Australia, which caused quite a stir. In '94, Michael and Damon Hill were competing for the championship. With only 1 point separating them, it came down to the Australian Grand Prix, which was the final race. Everything was going swimmingly for Michael until he hit a brick wall. Hill's now unquestionably going to win the race and the championship. As they race, right when it seemed like one driver, Hill, was going to get ahead of the other, Michael, something unexpected occurred. They crashed into each other. The crash was so intense that both cars got wrecked. Now here's the exciting part. Michael was just a little bit ahead of Hill in terms of points before this crash. So because of this crash, Michael became the champion even though there was a lot of weird requests to change the decision and make Hill the winner instead. But nothing could stop this F1 driver from displaying his... Let's just say, this driver continues to surprise me every day. What was most surprising was this driver's victory in the UK. He made this brilliant move because he had no choice but to serve that penalty. He accepted his penalty after completing the final lap, so because the Ferrari pit was ahead of him, he crossed the checkered line as he drove into the pits. That meant he technically won the race. Isn't he a genius? And this might have surprised everyone at the time, but it was his horrific crash that will never be forgotten. It rained heavily during the Belgian Grand Prix in 1998. But look, this is one of the rarest moments right now. Like this ridiculous crash that became one of the most biggest moments in F1 history. The 2008 Singapore Grand Prix was significant because lots of drivers really wanted to win this race, which made it even more special. Unfortunately, Alonso and his Renault wasn't amongst these many drivers, as he started 15th. However, in order to undercut, Alonso pitted on lap 12. The pit stop went smoothly and everything appeared to be normal, but then, out of nowhere, this happened. And because everyone except Alonso went into the pits, Alonso eventually went from P15 to P1 and won the race. But here's where things gets interesting. Despite the fact that many people suspected something was wrong, nothing happened at the time. Then, the following year, Renault fires Nelson, the driver who crashed. As a result, the secrets are revealed almost immediately. The claim was correct. Nelson did intentionally crash in order to move his teammate to the front of the grid. According to some, only few members of the FIA were aware of this incident at the time. But nothing was done. This was one of Formula One's darkest periods. Some claim that Nelson also practiced how to crash on the warm-up lap. Now that's some crazy commitment. Get ready, because I'm about to spill the beans on the rarest F1 moment ever. Remember the thrilling 2021 final race? Well, hold on to your helmets because there's a secret side of this story. We all remember this driver's crash in his Williams that brought up the safety car, right? Now imagine the pressure cooker that Mercedes found themselves in. They were in a jam trying to figure out if Hamilton should make a pit stop or not. The twist? They decided to keep him on the track, and boy did that turn out to be a smart move. Just when things seemed settled with no overtaking allowed, guess what happened on the second to last lap? But then, on the penultimate lap, this shocked everyone. You know, there was this exciting Formula 1 race where Mercedes and Verstappen's team were like chess players on the track. They tried some sneaky moves to change the outcome. One time, Mercedes said that Verstappen passed Hamilton when he shouldn't have, like a secret shortcut. And then, they said that the race director broke the rules by helping only some cars get ahead. It was like a big game of strategy and surprises. But it didn't work because the stewards declared that the race director has overriding authority. This surprised everyone, even the other drivers didn't hold back. Lando stated that the final lap was made for TV. Even Nico, who had a strained relationship with Luis, stated that Masi did not follow the rules, and that Horner's demand for one more lap of racing was inappropriate. But wait, here's the twist. Some of the big shots in the F1 world actually backed up Masi's call. Take Sebastian, for instance. He said, hey, everyone's got their own take. My vote? Let the stewards be. And then we got Horner in the mix. He stepped up to defend Masi's move, saying that it wasn't the restart that tripped up Mercedes. Nope, it was their own strategy blunders that cost them the race. It was like a game of who's to blame on the F1 track. Overall, these are some ridiculous F1 times. But do you know what else is crazy? Here are other fails you might enjoy watching. Just click here and watch, and we'll see you in the next video.